Last night I was crucified on the back of a pickup truck, doing 90 miles per hour beyond the speed limit of lightning. To some, it may seem frightening, but let me tell you, this was no dream. In fact, when I woke up this morning, I still had the blood stains trailing down from my wrist and onto my palms. Upon my head was a wreath of barbs, and I'm sure that I would have had thorns. That is, if we hadn't killed all the plants with penicillin, pesticides, and sweet, sweet mercury dreams. I'm tired of all these schemes, of all the liars, and all the cheats. For until we step into a light of integrity, we will be stuck with the same old good cop, bad cop, interrogation routine. And my brothers, my sisters, my lover, my friends, until we step into a light of integrity, this will never end. This insanity of humanity is nothing more than fallacy, making the confusion an illusion, like the United States idea of restitution. But there's no need for sadistic tendency or another government convention because, my friends, Republican or Democratic, it doesn't matter when all they speak is static. Stuck in a vacuum with the mental tattoo that this is a white nation, we seem to be neglecting centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries of our own historical information. But society's mental castration is brought about by desperation, fed by desolation, and our own fear of separation. Breaking people into numbers while we are slowly pulled asunder. Still, we have yet to seem to notice that we are drowning amongst the locals. And I cannot seem to fathom how each of us has so quietly let this happen. So I must bring up the question, lest it goes unmentioned. What sort of peace are we supposed to get when we're beaten and beaten straight over the head with fears, illusions, and irrationalities? We get a fear-mongering society that kills the free. Thus, I am philanthropic with my love, for it is more than a possession or an obsession with 2 eyes, ears, lips, mouth, and nose. So I define my existence, but not beyond recognition, because eventually this nova will explode in a glorious light of fantastical colors. Forget about the names and just enjoy this moment. Don't bother trying to control other people's perspectives. Just show them the door, and they can let themselves in. They don't need to see the world exactly the way that you do, but just letting them know that there is another way. It's the best thing you can do. So learn to be a guide, and don't be an enforcer. For we are still children in the eyes of the solar system. Well, we cannot rise above the wicked unless we rise up first. And I know that it may hurt to hear it in verse, but this is something that must be said. It's been echoing deep inside of my head like the screams of children in bombed out Iraqi buildings. This golden calamity, bleeding insanity, out in the streets like death with hate. It's rape of the mother, but nobody bothers to cry revolution. Revolution. It was not what we were doing. So I'm saying it now. Stand up and be proud. Give your neighbor a hug. Show them some love. Because it is not a disease to be trusting and free. So take it from me. If we really got to know ourselves, would we even have a state of disease? Stars across the sky, like the dreams of our long dead soldiers. My heart, a soft, somber sigh. World War III is not yet over. For the rats of rage, anxious for the taste of some melancholy dream, have over-medicated our children so very far beyond belief. And so out of a coma and into the fire, you Rip Van Winkled yourself straight into the epoch of hypocrisy. We're breathing. Even breathing has its dangers. And I can feel these lungs collapse under such pressure. But that is not the way I foresaw my death. Not for we gods and goddesses. Not for this prophet. Such a death is not meant for this still beating heart. There is more to be said and much work to be done. For I still have dreams of peace, even in this time of error. Because liberty is not just a statue. She is the mother of virtue. Or did you forget that before the state, the idea was in existence? And the state is just a representation of that idea. So I'm calling to end this incestuous rape of virtue and planet, of time and of space. For until you put the gun down, my dear, dear brother, you may as well point the barrel at your own sweetest mother. Like to recite this as I recited the rest, but I think this is a good opportunity for me to share with you the labor of my love. This is my first little chapbook. This is the first one. So. You see, if there is a title there, please. Is there a title there? There is no title. No. So, I have two more to share with you before my time is done.
But is it running down?
Yes, I have these in the back. And there's freebies that are some stuff at that table.
How much are you?
I'm doing these for $5. search of truth, wherever that may lead, whether out above and beyond the stars, or along the face of the deep. I shall not lose my voice through years of activity. So fear not, like brother XX, XY, and XYZ, death shall not be the end of me. For I am the dream, the image which he had envisioned. I am the becoming nature of what was spoken by my truly magnificent brothers and my simply serene sisters. And that is because my understanding of sight goes beyond the visual senses, just as the affects of time impact more than one realm. So to believe that we are destined for anything less than greatness is a foolish ideal. It is childish. The absolute desire for a static reality. Do not forget that we were once nomads, together, today, now. We are the generation that has been brought together to bring in the era of peace. And whatever it is that you need to digest that, whatever term it may be, whether it be Allah, Buddha, Yahweh, Quetzalcoatl, Elohim, Krishna, source energy, divine inspiration, whatever term you need to help digest that, unto you, my brother, I say seek. Do not fear the possible challenges which may lie before you. You shall overcome. Let me repeat that. Do not fear the possible challenges which may lie before you. You will overcome. It is in surpassing our greatest tragedy that we are able to stand in the moonlight with our heads to the sky, triumphant, just like our mothers, our fathers, our grandmothers, our forefathers, and so many others beyond our concept of time would have wanted for us, their children. And it is a great injustice to ourselves to desire anything less. Woo! And I have one last one before we go our separate